$7. That's what a bottle of premium salad dressing runs now, and about $6.40 of that is water, gum, and soybean oil that oxidized on a warehouse shelf months before it hit your cart. The flavoring, the part you think you're paying for, cost the manufacturer around 11 cents. Today, I'll teach you one formula, not 6 recipes to memorize. 1. And from that single formula, you can build 6 completely different restaurant-grade dressings in under a minute each. A full batch costs you about 40 cents. The same volume in bottles runs close to $30, so if you eat salad like a normal human, you're putting somewhere north of $400 a year back in your pocket. I'll show you exactly where that math comes from in a second. There's also a trick near the end for stopping a vinaigrette from ever splitting in your fridge again. The one thing nearly every food blog gets flat wrong. I've run this system for 3 years, and I honestly can't taste a store bottle anymore without catching that faint metallic edge. Once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. Sorry in advance. Here's the myth the whole industry is built on, that dressing is complicated. That there's some proprietary factory alchemy you couldn't possibly pull off at home. There isn't. The entire thing rests on one ratio professional kitchens have used for a century. 3 parts oil to 1 part acid. 3 to 1. That's the trade secret they've spent millions convincing you lives behind a locked door. Your acid is whatever you want it to be. Lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, red wine vinegar, balsamic. Your oil is your oil. Hold that 3 to 1 line and the dressing comes out balanced every single time. Forever. You now know what a line cook knows. But 3 to 1 alone gives you a jar with 2 stubborn layers, because oil and water refuse to mix. This is where the second myth dies. The one that says you need a blender or some special gadget. You don't. What you need is an emulsifier, and the best one on earth is already in your fridge door. Dijon mustard. Dijon isn't there for flavor. The compounds in it physically wrap each droplet of oil and hold it suspended in the acid, so the whole thing turns creamy and stays that way. 1 teaspoon rebuilds a broken 2-layer mess into a smooth emulsion. That's chemistry, not cooking. And the blender myth is actually worse than useless. If you're using real extra virgin olive oil, a blender is a mistake. The blades rupture the oil at a cellular level and release a rush of bitter polyphenols, so your dressing comes out tasting sharp and acrid. The people paying for the fancy machine are making the worst dressing. All you need is a glass jar and about 10 seconds of shaking like you owe the jar money. Now the 6 flavors, all off that one base, 3 parts oil, 1 part acid, a teaspoon of Dijon, 1, the classic vinaigrette, white wine vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, the Dijon, a little minced garlic, a pinch of dried oregano. This alone replaces a $5 bottle for about 30 cents. 2, the balsamic. Aged balsamic, olive oil, Dijon, and a tablespoon of honey or maple to round off the acidity. Thick, glossy, and it costs you maybe 40 cents against the $7 steakhouse bottle. 3, the creamy garlic. Same base, but swap half the oil for a spoonful of Greek yogurt or tahini. You get that dense, creamy texture with 0 of the industrial mayonnaise that store versions lean on. And here's the third myth gone. Creamy at the store almost never means dairy. Flip a ranch bottle over and it's mostly soybean oil, water, and thickeners. You're paying dressing prices for emulsified seed oil. If you're still with me this far in, you clearly actually care what goes in your food, so quick one. Hitting subscribe is free and genuinely moves the needle for a channel like this. And if you want the deeper stuff, members get the extended breakdowns and bonus recipes I don't post publicly. That's it. Back to the fridge door. 4, the honey mustard. Apple cider vinegar, a neutral oil, double the Dijon, an extra tablespoon of honey. Sweet, sharp, faintly dangerous around a plate of fries. 5, the Asian sesame. Rice wine vinegar for the acid, mostly neutral oil, with a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil, a splash of soy sauce, a pinch of grated ginger. Completely rewrites a bowl of plain greens. 6, the lemon herb. Fresh lemon juice, extra virgin olive oil, the Dijon, and a fistful of chopped parsley and dill. Bright, clean, and it makes the $14 artisan herb bottle look like a robbery. Which it is. Let's kill the biggest health myth while we're here because it's cost people more than money. Fat-free and light dressings are not the healthier choice. They're arguably the worse one. The vitamins that make salad worth eating in the first place, A, E, K, and the carotenoids, are fat-soluble. Your body can't absorb them without fat present in the same bite. Researchers have actually measured this. Eat your greens with a fat-free dressing, and you absorb a tiny fraction of those nutrients compared to eating them with real oil. So the diet bottle strips out the fat, replaces it with sugar and gum to fake the texture, charges you the same, and quietly guarantees the salad does almost nothing for you. It's a masterpiece, honestly, just aimed at the wrong person. Here's the fridge separation fix I promised. Where the food blogs get it wrong. They'll tell you your dressing split because the oil got cold. That's only half of it. If your emulsion splits after a day, the real problem is that the bond was too weak from the start, not enough emulsifier, or you quit shaking too early. The fix isn't a warmer fridge. Add a little more Dijon or half a teaspoon of honey, which also helps hold the droplets in suspension, and shake harder up front. Build the bond strong, and it survives the cold. A 10-second shake before you pour handles the rest. One more mechanism most people never think about: why the store oil tastes flat. Cheap refined oils are stripped and deodorized with heat and solvents, and by the time the bottle's been sitting under warehouse lights for half a year, the fat has quietly oxidized. That's the metallic note. Since you're now making dressing for pennies, spend the tiny bit extra on a cold-pressed oil and keep it capped away from light. It's the one ingredient doing the heavy lifting, so let it. And don't get spooked by the shelf stability argument. Your dressing doesn't need to survive 3 years in a warehouse because you're not shipping it to one. That endless shelf life is the whole reason the bottle needs preservatives, stabilizers, and the cheapest possible oil in the first place. Yours lives in the fridge for a week, gets used, and gets remade. That's not a downside. That's the entire point. If you made it this far, you already cook better than the label writers want you to. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.